Have you ever been at the crossroads in your life where you realize in the next 10 years your family would not be in the same position they are today if you kept doing the same thing? Have you ever been stuck at your job where you're like, man, I'm just going 9 to 5 and just like constantly repeating itself over and over again? Has the corporate world ever told you how much you're worth and you felt like you were worth something different? In June of 2024, I decided to do something different that would ultimately change my family's life for the future. I'm going to do this series tonight to talk about why I chose insurance to help you hopefully understand to take the next step in your life. Tonight, we're going to be going over the production side of why I chose life insurance. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys have been in a sales position and you've been capped at all the income that you can possibly make. Me personally, I was capped in every single sales role. So the first thing I did was lighting sales, where I had to go around to food processing plants, and there was only so many food processing plants that we actually had the ability to actually go into and sell to, and there was only so many types of lights that we could actually sell. So our products couldn't actually help everyone in their needs. The next thing I did was commercial roofing, and it was the exact same thing. And I wasn't capped, but I was making such a low percentage that it was going to take me 4 to 5 to 10 years to actually build up what I wanted to build. And a lot of the market was already taken away, and we only had a very limited type of client that we could actually sell to with the type of roofing we did. I sold $5 million worth of roofs, and then I only made 1%. So I literally only made 50 grand for the $5 million of roofs, and that took me 5 months to do. It just wasn't enough money. I was in the wrong vehicle. I was running at the highest rate. I was setting company records. I was running at a higher rate than everyone else, but I was just in the wrong vehicle. So tonight, what I want to do is I want to break down the production side for you of life insurance to help you understand that insurance is completely uncapped. And there's so many different ways that I actually can do to actually scale and grow my agency just off of production. Okay, so we're going to break that down tonight. So I came in insurance. You guys have to be aware of this. I came into insurance at an 80% contract level. Okay, so I started off at 80%. What that means, okay, you can do the math up here. What that means, an average size of a policy is roughly $100 a month. Okay, that's just for an average agent. So of $100 a month, I multiply that 100 times 0.75. Okay, sorry, I multiply that times 0.80. So 100 times 0.80. So that's going to give you roughly $960. So it's 100 times 12 months, $1,200. Multiply that times 0.80. That gives you $960. That's what you make in your bank account. So I asked the question, guys, and listen with me if you're curious about life insurance. You're telling me that I can sell 1 million people and still not be capped? And the answer was yes, I can sell whoever I wanted to sell, and I could make as much money as I wanted to make. So you're telling me if I found 1 million people to sell to, that I could literally make whatever amount of money I wanted to. There was never an industry that I found that could actually do that. So then I started to realize, okay, so my very first year, I did 1,200 applications. The average APV size on that, so the AP size, was roughly 1,500. That was my average AP size. So that was 1,500, multiply that, so 1,900 apps roughly, or almost 2,000 apps, or 1,500 apps. It was really close to that, but we'll call it 1,500. 1,500 apps, multiply that times 1,500 AP, what's that give you? A lot of money, okay? So if that's going to give you that amount of money, then I was like, if I can do that in my first year, kind of figuring this thing out, what can I do moving forward? So the cool thing about being a producer is I started at 80% commission level, and then I went to 85, and then I went to 90, and then I went to 95. So what you do is if the average APV size is $120 or 100 bucks, multiply that now times 130, or multiply that now I'm 125. And then I will continue to make more money. So if you're trying to be a producer, you can be offered the top contract out there, which is like 160, and you can literally be making off of a $120 policy. You could be making, over $1,200 to $1,500 just on the policy by selling one. But I didn't want to sell for my life. We're going to discuss that next episode. So now I started to think about after 6 to 7 months, there's got to be more to life insurance than just selling, right? Or there's got to be more to life insurance than just selling life insurance. Is there higher valued products out there where I can literally do the same thing I'm doing, but then now sell bigger and better products and make a higher amount of money per deal. Crazy thing about it, there is. So I started to realize there's this thing called IULs. There's this thing called infinite banking. There's this thing called annuities. And if I took those three investment vehicles and I just applied the same amount of work and effort to what I did by just selling life insurance and mortgage protection, then now how much more money I can make. So for those of you guys that don't know about it, IULs, you can literally make $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000 off it. But the thing about IULs is we only get paid on the life insurance. So if you're really in your best interest for the client, okay, you want to put the life insurance piece as low as you possibly can. And then you want to put the cash that's going towards the policy, which is going to help them make money, as high as you possibly can. And the reason why that advantages them is because, right, they're going to make more money over time, then they're going to send you referrals, and then you're going to, hopefully you'll make more money just because you did right by the client. There's actually a lawsuit out here, and we'll put it up here, by Kyle Busch. He passed away. I hate it. But they actually sued a company where the guy who built the IUL actually put too much life insurance into it, which caused the Bush family to not make as much money, right? So, but the life insurance agent made a lot of money off of that, right? So there's a lot of agents that are out there that you can actually teach you to build the life insurance policy too low because they're going to get an override on you and they're going to make more. That's not the way we do business. We should always be in business for the client first, okay? So you can do IULs. So you can, if someone, we almost think of this as like a 401k. This is an example, like a 401k built as and with a life benefit. So if you can build it as or with a life benefit, then what can then end up happening is if that client passes away before 59 and a half, they can actually have a life benefit and there's their retirement. What happens if they pass away before 59 and a half, the money then goes to the wife. If it goes to the wife, now she's taxed. She can be taxed at 10 to 15%, depending on the company that they're doing the 401k with. And then they're going to make less money. If there's $1 million in there, they're losing 100 grand. But if you have a proper IUL, you can make 5, 6, 7, 8 million off of that. That completely changes the ballgame. Okay, so that's an IUL. Infinite banking is very, very similar. You can just use it as a loan, and it's great for business owners because you can pull the money out as tax-free versus actually going to get a business loan that's at like 10 to 15% potentially at a bank. And then now you're having to pay that back at an interest rate of 10 to 15%. Whereas if you do it from the bank, from your infinite bank, then now you're going to pull it out at a 4 to 5% interest rate. So it's a great advantageous for business owners. And most business owners will actually put in $5 to $6 to $7 to $8,000 a month in. And then obviously if I'm getting paid on that, I got to make sure it can't be taxed. And then from there, what that's going to end up happening is people can pay off their houses with that. People can get loans off of that, whatever they want. I can go into this product more in detail. But this can actually change the whole scope of this client's life, and it can change yours with the amount of commission that you can possibly make from it. And then annuities as well, you can make a ton of money in annuities. You just got to figure out how to sell it. These products are phenomenal. There's two types of annuities where you can get paid for the rest of your life and then you can invest money into it and then it's going to grow without a market floor. Okay, so what happens is when you have a 401k or a Roth or something like that, there is a market floor. There is a market you can drop. So let's instance, there's $100,000 in there. It can go below $100,000. With an annuity, it can't. Okay, so it's going to go constantly continue to go up. With something in the 401k or Roth, they can go below $100,000. So how would this be a disadvantage to someone who's 62 to 63 to 64 years old? Let's say you lose your job, you retire, you get fired, you need all that money. What happens if you're 64, let's say the market had a bad day, it crashes, it could be down to $100,000 if you have $300,000 in there. And then now your retirement's all of a sudden less, and then now you need the money, you got to take it out because you got to be able to survive, but now you have way less money in your retirement. So what a lot of people do is they actually take the annuity and they put the money from a 401k after 59 and a half into the annuity. So when they need it, they can actually pull it, but it's never going to go below that amount. So what can happen if you learn to scale that annuity, you can make 50, 60, 70, 80, $90,000, sometimes even $200,000 off an annuity, but you're doing great for the client. So what ends up happening is if you learn how to scale that in annuities, how I did the math, and I'm going to go back to it eventually, you can end up scaling annuities where you can make literally per year 10 to 15 to $20 million if you learn how to work annuities properly. That's the path of production. If you learn how to do production correctly, you can make 5 to 10 to $15 million a year, but you have to be under someone that can teach you how to do it. I didn't know all those things when I first came into insurance, but thankfully I'm teaching people now to actually scale and build a phenomenal book of business, a great book of business that will end up changing people's lives. And and I'm teaching producers to make 1 million within their first year, to 2 to 3 to 4 to $5 million in their second and third year, because I'm teaching how to properly do products, sell products, and then treat the clients the right way. And if you find someone that can teach you that, you can literally make millions and millions of dollars if you're treating the people the right way, because it all comes down to treating people first. I can go more into depth on that. That's going to be a later series, but tonight we're going to close it up. We do a webinar every single Thursday that teaches people exactly how to do life insurance and build a legitimate career. If that's you, I want you to join Thursday's webinar. You can click the link in my bio that goes to that, and we'll see you there. If you learned a little bit tonight about how to actually scale from a production side, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat, or give me a thumbs up or a gem or a diamond or something. So that way I can continue to do more content on that, and I can actually go more into depth to actually teach you more about life insurance. Then lastly, I'll be doing the last part of the series next week on why I chose life insurance. I hope you're getting a little bit out of this, and this is helping you grow your life insurance career or actually get into it. If that's you and you want more information about it, click the link in my bio. That will go to our webinar on Thursday, and we can see you then and we'll talk. Outside that, guys, you guys have a great evening. Happy Sunday to all of you guys. Have a great money. Set the tone for the week. Be the best. Have a great night.